Takuelewa kitu moja, as humans we have the biggest brain in the mammals. Sisi ndio tuko na brain kubwa sana kwa mammals mingi. This is why sisi.
Now that is a scientific fallacy. Maure maheni hapo ametudanganya. Like think about a sperm whale. Sperm whale ni bigi, it has a very big brain. Hata huko nimeenda mbali. Think about an elephant.
I believe a man and a woman were not meant to live together.
Haya.
If it was natural, it would have started with animals.
One of the easiest things a human being can actually do is take a small piece of reality and turn it into a complete explanation. We see a pattern once and all of a sudden we've discovered reality for what it is. I mean, that is the fundamental truth. But reality is much more complex than the stories we build around it. All the evidences we can gather about reality can inform your belief, but that doesn't automatically justify the conclusion with which you arrive at. And today's videos are going to show you exactly that. Welcome back manze to the RadaFiles. Onanitanga yo frate. Manze, it's the bitter things in life that matter. And today's videos, remember, you can always support the channel by tapping the link down in the description below or scanning the QR code on your screen. Without further ado, tuanza this way.
So marriage to me is unnatural. I believe a man and a woman were not meant to live together.
Haya.
If it was natural, it would have started with animals.
Yes,
Damn.
marriage is unnatural, but here's why.
Damn! Do you mean that you cannot notice that animals actually perform this idea? Ni venye sasa sisi tumeilabel ikakuwa marriage. But don't you think animals do it? Why do birds occupy a nest and create a family on it? Why do wolves work together, ama foxes work together to feed their young ones? Why? Don't you think that is the basis of a marriage?
It is unnatural. Every living creature, their sole purpose in this earth is to reproduce. Hata kunguni will reproduce. Now, when the female species is pregnant, she's very vulnerable. She cannot operate the same way. Her body is in changes. Okay?
True, very true.
For you to make sure that she survives and the offspring, which might be your offspring, survives, guess what you need to do? You need to provide for them and you need to at least protect them. Ranipata, the man who is stronger, who has bigger muscles than the woman, his job is to provide resources and to protect them, because in that whatever situation, the pregnancy situation, wako very vulnerable. So the best way to make sure that this man protects her and is constantly providing resources to ensure the survival of the mother and of the child is for them at least to have a union yenye inassure this one specific male na atakuwa ananiletea nini chakula na atakuwa ananilinda until huyu offspring wake afike at an age yenye anaweza jiprotect. Natakuelewa kitu moja, as humans we have the biggest brain in the mammals. Sisi ndio tuko na brain kubwa sana kwa mammals mingi. This is why sisi.
Now that is a scientific fallacy. Maure maheni hapo ametudanganya. Like think about a sperm whale. Sperm whale ni bigi, it has a very big brain. Hata huko nimeenda mbali. Think about an elephant. An elephant is also a mammal. It has a bigger brain than humans, but maybe what he's trying to say is we are the most intellectually capable when it comes to creating civilizations, when it comes to governing ourselves and putting ourselves in certain boundaries and going towards a certain goal that we have established as a collective. If that's what he's talking about, then yes, we might appear the smartest. But even based on that, you even think about it, ants actually do the same thing. They create civilization. So let's see what he's getting at.
Tunaweza fikiria idea that tunaweza shape the world to become something that we want. Animals cannot do that. Are we clear? A natural thing.
They can, not to the extent of which you are thinking about it.
Ni watu kusema hataki kuzalisha, ni watu kusema hataki watoto. Hiyo si natural. According to nature rewards the best of the best. So the best men should be having the best women, not just one specific woman.
Allah.
Tunapatana hadi hapo hivyo. So marriage is unnatural kabisa. Ukiangalia in the sense of biology. Ingine ya feminist yo msijui, lakini ukiangalia na biology ina make sense, ndio. kadiplay.co.ke, link kwa
Wow. Manze, red pillars will always drive you to that point, the point that the best men should get the best women, not just one. So as a biologist, kama umekuwa kwa hii channel for a minute, you know I'm a biologist. Let's talk about, because amepatiana very many references to biology kwa hii conversation. Let's talk about biology. What happens when two people are actually attracted to each other? Initially, there's acha nikwambie initially ama nikwambie ukweli kwanza. First of all, everything that is happening inside of your body is dictated by your endocrine system ama hormones zenye uko nazo kwa mwili. Ukienda kwa side ya esotericism, you're going to be told, especially on the side of Agekoyo, they are going to tell you that this is Nyambura. Nyambura actually rules the endocrine system. But hapo hivyo nimeenda on a tangent. Let me get back to this ideology of what actually happens in the endocrine system. So the first thing, when you are attracted to someone, your body releases a hormone, dopamine. Dopamine floods your entire system ama your brain, and you have the urge to chase. You have the urge to go and get what you actually want. And the moment you have gotten it, this also applies to animals. The moment you have gotten it, umeishikilia sasa ndo hii ni yako, dopamine ceases to work for you. Dopamine is a very fleeting hormone. It doesn't last for long, and in fact, most people who optimize for dopamine actually become addicts. But if you are a normal operating organism, the moment dopamine stops kicking in, the next thing you're going to do is release a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin gives you a sense of safety, gives you a sense of bonding, a sense of peacefulness with the thing that you have actually caught. Nasema caught kwa sababu nataka kufikiria in the terms of hunting, na bado all this applies to relationship ideologies. Juu watu wanasemanga you are hunting, you shoot your shot. Unapata? Aya. Other than that, the moment now oxytocin usha feel comfortable with the thing you have caught, you've already created a sense of connection, a sense of trust with this thing. The other thing that is released inside of your brain ama body is something known as vasopressin, ama venye watu tulifunzwa huku hivi shule, antidiuretic hormone. This hormone in the kidneys, it is used to regulate water reabsorption, sindio? But now when it comes to the brain, it does something totally different. It gives you that urge of being protective, boundaries, establish boundaries. That is the one that makes you want some, like, if your partner is threatened, you want to protect them. That is the hormone that actually does that. Nilikuwa na explain in the terms of hunting. I want you to imagine a lion that has hunted, ameshika prey, anakula hiyo prey yake, then the hyenas want to take the meat from him. This lion is going to be aggressive and protect his meat. Hey, pause. What the fuck? But I hope you get what I mean, sindio? Kama you don't, let me know down in the comments below. Nitako explainia easier with fewer words. But what am I getting at nikiongelea history yote? All I want you guys to understand from this ideology is human beings are naturally pulled towards pair bonding. It is the activity of pair bonding that led to the cultural creation of things like marriage. This pair bonding ina happen naturally because humans, as we know, we are social creatures. We like interacting with other people. And that being said, that's why we create systems around our nature. Systems like there are laws, because those laws apply to our nature. Kuna nini ingine? So marriage is also one of them. Kuna kitu ingine nilikuwa nimeandika, hebu acha niangalie. Language is also in our nature. We have the need to communicate. The other one ni music. Hizi zote, they are things that are naturally human nature, but we build structures around them. Constitutions, government, marriage, So marriage is just a structural thing around something that is happening naturally to humans. And sometimes the things that are natural doesn't mean that they are morally correct, because naturally we also have primitive ideologies within us. Ukienda side esotericism, they will tell you you have the monkey brain and the advanced brain. When you are operating from a certain form of brain, I think the monkey brain is the one they call the brainstem, then you're going to optimize your life based on different parameters compared to mtu mwenye anatumia the cortex na the cerebral hey, help me down in the comments below. Ooh-wee. But you get what I mean. People are going to optimize their lives differently. Being natural doesn't mean morally upright. There are things we actually want, and when you look at these masculinity topics, these red pill ideologies, all they are optimizing is for the primitive nature of a man. The idea is the primitive nature of a man has been stumbled upon, and most men are no longer men right now. In fact, nikitalk about the story yote, I'm thinking about two things for you to govern. Aya, ngoja, before niende huko kwa two things. Given that I have already explained to you, humans are actually attuned to pair bonding, then you understand why civilization exists, why there are laws, why there are certain cultures, why there are certain languages. Now, with that being said, let me tell you about now history ingine sa ya esotericism. In esoteric ideologies, kuna two conflicting frameworks when it comes to the way people actually think. The first one, it is the dualistic nature of reality. The other one is the non-dualistic nature of reality. The dualistic nature allows people to be governed easily. The dualistic nature ndo hiyo yenye tuna explain hapa hivi, tunasema there is good and there is bad, but for us to create civilization we need to optimize for the good of everyone. Hiyo ni dualistic nature. The non-dualistic nature is the one that you need to tap into your primitive nature, and I think that is what most of the red pill ideology is actually based on. And that non-dualistic nature is a very dangerous ideology when it comes to governments. Governments actually don't like it, because they will realize when you actually follow this path, you end up realizing that you have the autonomy to do what the fuck you want. And when people actually realize they don't need the system, what do they do with the system? They do away with the system. But if everyone actually thinks like this, will there be a system? Sisi wote tutaishi in chaos. And hapo hivyo ndio inanirudishanga kwa ile ideolojia between the chicken and the hen, which came first. Because if we descend into chaos, eventually we are all going to look towards change, and change will look like establishing a form of structure, and that form of structure inaturudisha wapi? Kwa duality framework of understanding life. That makes sense? The biggest issue with these two clips is that they are taking a simple idea and applying it on a very complex framework of existence, and that is reality. And from a scientific perspective, the more something complicated is, the more care and the more delicate we should be with jumping into conclusion, because when different parameters zinaitangwa multivariate parameters ni frameworks. When you have a multivariate framework, then you have to exercise caution when it comes to the conclusion that you are actually making. Otherwise, the whole model that you are using is going to fail. And sometimes the smartest position isn't knowing exactly what the answer is, but it is knowing how much your evidence ama how much knowledge you have, you can actually use to claim something. As always, I always tell you guys, navigate with balance. Without further ado, you can always support the channel. Scan the QR code on your screen, ama tap the link down in the description below. YouTube thinks you might be interested in the video on your screen at the moment. Click on that video. I'm waiting to see you on the next one.